Hello, I'm Beth. Welcome to my Mindful Yoga channel and my Lunchtime Yoga series. So this is a series of videos that are designed to be a quick pick-me-up in the middle of your day, whether you're at home or at the office. You won't need any props. You can move your desk chair and whatever's around you aside. I do recommend taking your shoes off, but you don't need a mat for these routines. So in today's routine, we're going to focus on giving you a little boost of energy through some movements that will help you balance and focus and hopefully let you go through the rest of your day. So to get started, take off your shoes if you can. Have your feet in a place where they're firmly grounded to the floor, whatever surface is underneath you. Spread your toes a little bit. We're going to do some movement with breath to start to get our body moving, our blood flowing. Let me show you the movement first. We're going to reach the arms up overhead, and it doesn't matter if they're wide, if they're directly overhead, if they're more out in front. Wherever you get to, you're going to do a little 2 breath in, and you can hear me do the sniff. And then as we breathe out, we're going to take a little bend into our knees, just a teeny forward fold from the hip crease. Send the arms behind us like a cape, and we're going to blow the air out through our mouths in that 2 breath pattern. So one more time slow, and then we'll do it together, speeding it up a little bit. All right, you ready to do it with me? Remember, you don't have to match me. We're just trying to get the sense of the body movement with a little bit of breathing. All right, take 1 normal in and out breath, and then breathe in twice as you take the arms overhead. Little bend, overhead, little bend. If you want, you can look up and down. Play around with the arms. A little bit longer. Hear your breath. Last 2 or 3. 2 more. And then come back through to center. Did I do an extra there? Let's find your center for a moment. Take a moment to observe, notice, feel any effects that had on your body as we stand in this simple mountain pose. A few natural breaths in, natural breath out. You might feel that the pattern has changed, that your breath is a little bit more rapid, or maybe after getting your breath faster, you can feel it slowing down. All right, you may wish to take your feet just a little wider for the next one. We're going to do a little side bend, a lateral bend, moving into a leg swing. So I'm going to mirror you. Let the weight come into your right foot. So your right foot is going to be your stable foot here. You're going to start to lean a little bit toward your right. Let your right hand dangle and start to slide down. If you'd like, your left arm can lift up and overhead. That's optional. So most of the weight is on the right foot. Start to feel the heel of your left raise. Now you'll start to feel a little unbalanced, and that's what we're going for, having to focus on being balanced on this one leg. If it feels doable, you might start to take a little bit of lift into that bottom leg. If you're looking at me, you'll see I'm plenty wobbly. That's okay. It's fine to touch down at any point. So you can take a breath here in this raised position. And then as you touch down, try to first touch down with the ball of your foot, the toe. Stay in your lean as you push your heel toward the floor. And you might feel a little bit more stretch activating on your side as you do that. 1 more breath in the side stretch. And then exhale, come back up. We're going to keep the weight in this right foot. Again, unweight the left by lifting up your heel, and we're going to take a few swings back and forth. So you may notice that you have to touch down at first to kind of get the sense of it. If you can, start getting some air into your leg swing. Go ahead and get some air. And your arms might naturally swing with the legs. Sometimes that can cause to lose balance. So again, we're still trying to focus on staying balanced on the standing leg, asking the standing leg to work as we try to orient our body in space. Bigger arm movements is going to make this harder. The leg can also kind of go any which way. You're mobilizing the hip joint here. A few more. Sometimes it's easier to look at a spot on the floor ahead of you. And then eventually touch that leg and foot down. Again, take a moment to observe, and you might be feeling a lot of stuff in this leg. That leg was supporting us for a little bit of time. We'll try that on the second side. So this time, send the weight into your left leg to start. Let it be strong and stable. Look at your toes, spread them out a bit. Start to lean a little bit toward the left. Your left arm hangs, slides down. Right arm can come up and over. I'm coming onto the ball of my extended leg, so the ball of your right leg. Reach first, get length from your fingertips to your foot. And then if there seems to be room to lift, you can. If you have a chair, hopefully not one with wheels, or a desk nearby, you can certainly practice this with a little bit of a hold. A wall works too. Touch down anytime. See if you can find one breath in the air. And then as we touch down, remember we're going to touch down the ball of the foot first, if possible. Stay in this side lean and press with the heel. Feel something going on that side, hopefully. And then one more breath. Reach up tall to come up standing. Slide the right foot in a little bit, keep the weight in the left, and we'll start that swing across. So as you swing, you might first touch down, and you can do it this way the whole time. You're still challenging your balance by moving the leg around in space this way, or you can try to pick up some air. And again, it might take a few. It might not look like back and forth. It might be kind of any which way. Perhaps the arms help you with balance. Perhaps they throw off your balance. You see how that is for you. Touching down anytime, that's not wrong. You'll notice that you still have to focus, to concentrate, to really pay attention to what you're doing, whether you touch down or not. Let's see if we can get a few more in. Boop. All right, and then calm down. Bring your feet back toward your mountain pose. Might want to take a nice breath in, and as you breathe out, sigh out through your mouth. One more time, breathing in through your nose, sighing out through your mouth. All right, we'll continue moving our spine around by moving into a standing twist. For this, we're going to take one hand, so take your right hand across to your opposite shoulder, your chest, wherever it comfortably lands. Your left hand is going to reach out to the side, thumbs up. And then first we're going to do just a little shoulder stretch. So roll the thumb down and notice, ooh, I felt a crack in my shoulder there. Notice that you're really moving from the shoulder joint, and that's probably where you're going to feel it from. So you're not just moving the hand like you're turning a light bulb or a doorknob. You're moving all the way internally rotating the shoulder and externally rotating the shoulder. And if your hand is resting there, you might feel stuff move. I certainly do. All right, next time you turn down, keep your thumb down, bend your arm, little robot or puppet here, and place the back of your hand somewhere on your lower back, just comfortably near your low back. Use a little pressure of your low back pushing against the hand so that it doesn't have you kind of thrust out in a back bend. That's where we're going to finish, but we're not going there yet. You want to take your feet again a little wider than hip width. You can experiment with this. And we're going to turn toward your left, so in the direction that your elbow is pointing. Take a breath in, exhale, twist around your whole spine, going to wherever you can go, and come back to center. We're going to continue. We're going to flow in and out. See if you can move with your breath. You may find it feels more natural to take a breath in as you move into the pose, and exhale as you come out. Now, right now, I'm keeping my feet planted. You can also see how it feels to, as you turn, lift the opposite leg, spin on the foot a little bit, and you may get a further twist, but you might feel like that's not as much of a twist in your spine. So you're welcome to try it both ways and see how one versus the other feels on your body, because we all have different bodies. Let's do about 3 more here. One thing about lifting the back heel is you can push a little forward with the front of that hip. You get a little nice hip flexor stretch. I'm going to take my backhand away so you can see that. So right here, I'm gently pushing forward a little bit there to stretch out that part that gets tight. Or let's do 2 more. That's more than I said, right? And 1 more. All right, let your hands come down by your side for a moment, and we'll switch. So take the hand across to your shoulder, give yourself a little pat. You probably had a long day, most of us have. Rest it there for a second. And then take your opposite arm out, thumb up to start, and we're going to twist the arm in the socket. So thumb down, that's internal rotation, and maybe you even turn the thumb back a little bit, and back up, and again, maybe with the palm up, the thumb also goes back to explore the range of your rotation. Hopefully this feels like a nice release for your shoulders. Many of us, our shoulders get so tight, especially if we're hunched over laptops or phones or driving. A few more. 1 more, turn the thumb down, keep it down, a little bend of the arm, and place the back of the hand somewhere comfortably behind your back. It can rest more on your waist, it can rest closer to your butt. The only thing you don't want to do is push your body into a back bend. We want a neutral spine here, so that means no bend at the hip creases, no thrusting or overarching of the back. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, turn, twist to your right. Again, moving with breath, either inhaling or exhaling on the twist. Might take you a few rounds to see what feels the most natural to you. And of course, if focusing on the breath and the movement at the same time, oh, that just feels like too much, focus on one or the other. So I did that with my heel planted. Now I'm going to do it a few times, lifting the back heel. To do that, I turn my toe on my right foot a little bit out more. That's fine too. And again, when I turn this way, I can do a little gentle push of that front hip flexor, trying to encourage it to lengthen out a bit more, because that is often contracted, flexed, bent when we're seated all day. It's also fine to alternate, keeping the heel down and spinning, and then lifting the heel up to spin. Just got a little knee crack in there too. Let's do a few more. Your shoulders are staying pretty parallel, pretty much on the same plane as you twist them, and then they're moving around toward the back wall also. Last one. All right, last mountain pose. Breathe out. All right, final thing we're going to do is a standing back bend. So here we are going to have some arch in the lower back, but we're actually going to really try to get movement into the upper back, because the upper back is the part of our back that often doesn't like to move as much, at least into an arch. So we're going to do this a few different ways. I'll turn to the side so that you can see me better. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to reach the arms out like we had before, thumbs back to encourage a width and an opening across the chest with external rotation. And then feel as if you're turning the thumbs back a little bit more, maybe even try to turn them down to the floor. As you do that, you might feel a sense of wanting your chest to rise. Let that happen. Let your chest rise. Let your shoulder blades draw together and begin to find a little upper back bend. There may not be a whole lot of movement there. That's totally fine. And you can come back up. Hopefully you can see some movement with my upper back. I'm trying to draw my shoulder blades in a little bit at the same time that I'm lifting my chest. My chin just naturally wants to raise a little bit, but your head can also stay facing straight ahead. And one more time that way. I'm also breathing into the back bend to create more space all across my torso, my front body, and exhale. So I didn't really move my low back much. My low back really wants to move into the arch, so I could do this big arch that way. We're going to do that this time, but I'm going to use my hands this time to stabilize my low back as we do that. I'm going to put my hands like mitten hands as if I'm putting them in back pockets. I don't think I have any back pockets here, or I would. Elbows back. So just like we had the elbows back here, using the hands really on the lower waist or the bottom helps stabilize the lower back. So instead of just bending from this part of the lumbar, which can be really bendy but also sometimes cause problems, I also want my hip flexors to move forward here so that this part flattens out, and my hands will help with that. All right, elbows back, same width across the chest, rising up in your chest, and then you can use a gentle pressure of your hands to start pushing your pelvis forward really lightly, getting that lots more rounding in the upper back and a little bit of rounding in the lower back, and maybe you can lean back to a different degree than you could before and come back up. If there's any twinginess in your lower back, go back to this first version. So we'll try that 2 more times, this version. Hands in pretend pockets, open up across your upper back first, find that upper back bend, and then as you're doing the upper back bend, invite in a little bit of lower back bend, not by bending back, but by moving the pelvis, the hip flexors forward. And breathing. You can let your hair go, give your neck a little shake out if that feels good, or keep your neck looking straight ahead if that feels better. All right, last time, and the hands staying here helps us get up too. Breathe in, widen across the chest by moving your elbows back, lifting your chest more toward the sky, starting to arch in the upper back. And then a big, even crescent arch shape, exploring, breathing, last breath. And use your hands to stabilize as you come up. Come back around the front. Take one last moment to breathe. Back bends can particularly be energizing, so you might feel the reverberating effects just from that last pose that we did. Take a breath or two to explore that in your body. One last centering breath before you have to go back to whatever you have to do today, following the breath as it moves in through your body. Long, slow release as you let the air out of your body. So that is today's practice. Thank you so much for joining me. If you like these quick lunchtime practices, I do have a whole series of them you can try. If you're craving something longer, I have those too. Please give me a like to tell me what you thought about this video, comment. I'm very open to questions and to requests. Enjoy the rest of your day.